Okay, now we're going to go down to the basement level again and start building a set of stairs up. So I'll just go down to there and we'll start creating a set of stairs in this sort of area down here. Okay, so we'll go to the home menu. I think I'm just looking for the stair modelling. There it is, there's stairs. So I'll enter into the stair command, and possibly before I go any further I'll have a look at the stair properties, how we're going to build these stairs. So dropping down the type selector, I want a set of monolithic concrete stairs, and I haven't got any already made up like that, so we'll just go edit type and duplicate, either one, doesn't really matter, and this will be called monolithic concrete. Okay, so I'm looking for the monolithic checkbox first, so that's what I'm going to change first. So there's not going to be individual risers and risers, treads and stringers. It's just going to be formed as a monolithic concrete block of stairs. We'll just go back and have a look at what we have to change on the way through here. I think the underside of the winder, leave it as smooth at the moment. Sometimes we have problems with that and we have to go back to stepped, but if it works at smooth, we'll leave it at smooth for now. The tread material won't matter. Because it's monolithic, the tread thickness will be 0. The risers, riser type will be none, that's monolithic anyway. Nothing probably to change at the stringers. I think that's probably alright. Yep, I can't see anything else in there that really needs to be changed. Except the monolithic material, possibly, just so we can start hatching on our drawings. So like I say, I'm not too worried about materials too much, except when we come to concrete elements. I think we'll change to concrete anytime we see a concrete element. That way we'll get a cut pattern as being a concrete hatch pattern. And I'll just go OK to all of that. Monolithic stairs without treads can't have risers. Riser thickness for stairs type is automatically set to 0. But that was good. So we'll go OK to that. Now our base level is basement at an offset of 0. We're going right from basement. Our top level is going to be factory floor with a top offset of 0. Okay. I'm going to not worry too much about the width and of the stairs, because I'm going to start constructing this by drawing boundaries and riser lines. So I'm just going to go OK to that, and this is what we're going to do. We'll have to draw. Well, we're losing some of our commands through here. Oh no, maybe not. If I click on boundary to start with, and maybe even use the pick line tool to start drawing some boundary lines of where these stairs are going to go. So possibly in a shape something like that. I might do an offset of 1 metre to create a 1 metre wide landing, and offset that line inwards for a distance of 1 metre. I might also offset the width of these stairs to be 1 metre from both sides. Okay, so I'll do a little bit of a trim now. Okay, so I can start drawing some risers now, I think. So I'll click on the riser command, and I'll put my first riser in that location, and I'll put another riser there from there to there. Oops. Okay, escape out of that. And I'll just zoom out now and if you zoom out to a certain amount, you can start seeing how many risers you've created and how many more you need to put in. So it says 2 risers created, 12 remaining. Now it's most important that this drawing is done neatly, without any lines on top of lines to overlap, and that all of your boundaries intersect at corners, etc. The other thing you will need to do is you will need to split your boundaries at the landings. So at that point, and then at that point. That's because a stringer, if this was a stringer, cannot be a straight line from the bottom of the stairs here up to the top of that landing. It has to slope from that point to that point, and then change slope, actually flatten out across the landing. So that's the concept there. Now, I'm then going to offset. Click the offset button. Offset these treads by your going dimension, which in my case I'm going to suggest should be 250. And then I'm just going to keep offsetting these lines. Just keep my eye on that little note about how many I've got. 3 risers created, 11 remaining, 10 remaining, 9 remaining, and I'll keep doing this evenly so I get an even set of stairs from each landing until such time as I've got 0 remaining. Oh, now I've just offset in the wrong direction, so I've got an overlapping line there, so I'll have to click on undo. Okay, then I'll go back to offsetting in that direction. 2 more remaining, so 1 there and 1 there. So I've got 14 risers created, 0 remaining. So I now need to trim to the bottom riser, the boundaries. The whole idea then is I've created this nice neat arrangement of boundaries, green line boundaries, black line risers, until such time as I've got 14 risers created, 0 remaining in that particular instance. I can then simply finish my stairs. That's okay if there's an error with our rails, because we're probably going to recreate our rails ourselves later anyway. Now the up direction has happened from there. I think we probably just have a look at the sketch plan here. Let's have a look at the basement, up there, and zoom in a bit. I think our intention is, yeah, we're going to go from the ground up in that direction against this lower side of the wall. So is that what happened? And that is what happened. We're going from basement level up in that direction. So we can have a look in 3D now. So I mean, turn a few things off so we can sort of see through. If I turn the wall and the roofing, some of the walls and some of the roofing, and go down to my sunglasses and hide those elements. And I also select this floor possibly just from the moment so you can see what we've done, and hide that element. And here's our set of stairs that we've created. The handrails at the moment will be not appropriate for this building. We'll address that a little bit later. But yeah, that's looking like the correct sort of monolithic stairs that we wanted to create. In fact, I'm going to delete the external set of railings and just leave the internal railing. For a 1 metre wide fire stair, you just need a railing on one side anyway. And so I would put it on the internal face, because that way the railing will satisfy the balustrading requirements for that set of stairs as well. So that's probably the stairs done at this stage. Our next stage is, and when we come back, we'll start cutting a hole in the factory floor, because as you can see, if I bring the floors back on, well, you won't see through the wall at the moment, but if I turn that off again, hide that element, you can see we need to cut a hole in the factory floor. Well, one more thing we will do quickly before we decide to do that, because I'm going to go back to the factory floor level. Okay, now I'm going to turn wireframe mode on. So down the bottom here under model graphics style, I'll go to wireframe, and there's a bit of a problem because we've got this column, this portal frame column in the road of the landing. So we'll have to build a bit of concrete base around that column right down to the basement level to take the loads. So in other words, we have not got, if I go to measure, which is probably on modify, measure, we have not got from there to there a 1 metre wide landing, which is what we do need. So the distance of this model here, if I just do an approximate measure even, we got something like 200, a bit over 200 millimetres there. So I'd need to move this set of stairs, let's say 250 millimetres more, and that'll mean that I can create a 1 metre wide clear landing from that point there. So I'll need to re-edit the stairs if that's the case. Just go back in Edit Sketch, and all I want to do is align the wall. I want to make sure I do get a wall there. Yep, wall, block wall, and align that back out to the wall, and then finish the stairs again. and the stairs are finished, and I've now got a 1 metre clear opening through there. So I might turn wireframe off, go back to hidden line in that view, and it's time to do a save, and I'll stop the video.